Hi guys, I'm Qastor and welcome to the first of hopefully many Cardfight Vanguard deck profiles. Today's deck is Tachikaze. It's the first deck I ever built and the deck that I got started on the game with. My starting Vanguard is Military Dragon Raptor Soldier. His first skill is when the grade 1 rides him, you get to search the top 7 cards for the grade 2 or 3, and if you don't ride the grade 1, then you get to move him to any rearguard circle like any other normal starting Vanguard. I run 4 heal triggers, 4 draws because you need them to make up for the loss of card advantage due to many of the retiring effects that Tachikaze is known for. And then I run 8 criticals because we want to do double damage any chance we get and put the pressure on with this deck. For grade 1s, of course, I run 4 copies of Raptor Sergeant, the grade 1, 4 perfect guards, 3 Winged Dragon BM Tarot, and 3 Winged Dragon Skype Tarot. Now I run BM Tarot because of his main skill works well with the grade 2 version / Tarot. When this unit is put into the drop zone from rearguard during your battle phase, you can give another Tachikaze on your field plus 3,000 power. This helps out in general with making any columns that are poorly balanced better. And it also helps if you're using Dark Rex in your deck to give plus 3,000 to him so that way he can be more powerful on attacking, can hit 11k Vanguards, or if you retire more than 1 card with the effect like BM Tarot, then he can hit 16k, and that makes him altogether better because then he can hit for 2 stages against any Vanguard. I run Skype Tarot because of the fact that his ability is amazing. Counterblast 1 when this unit is put into the drop zone from rearguard, and if you have a Tachikaze Vanguard, you can put him back into your hand. This really helps minimize loss of card advantage, and with the amount of retiring effects that this deck is known for, you want to target him a lot. Plus, it's only 1 counterblast, so you could do this 3, 4, 5 times if necessary throughout the game. For grade 2s, I run 4 copies of Military Dragon Raptor Captain for the riot chain. 4 copies of Winged Dragon / Tarot. As I said earlier, he goes great with BM Tarot to be retired together, plus they make a nice 16k column. And I also run 3 copies of Ravenous Dragon Mega Rex. He's a nice 10k vanilla that can abuse 10k Vanguards, and he also makes good columns with Skype Tarot so that you don't have to worry about Skype Tarot being a 6k booster. Now, the great thing about the ride chain specifically are the effects of the grade 1 and grade 2. When the grade 1 is ridden by the grade 2, you may search your deck for another copy of the grade 1 Military Dragon Raptor Sergeant and call it anywhere on your rear guard. The same thing with the grade 2. When the grade 2 is ridden by the grade 3, you can search your deck for another copy of Military Dragon Raptor Captain and place him anywhere on rear guard. So this sets up a nice 16k column, which pluses your field by 2, and due to the fact that you often lose card advantage from various retiring effects, this is great. It really helps set up columns early game so that way you can keep the pressure on and you can use any retiring effects that you like on these cards because of the fact that they've been called directly from your deck and not from your hand, so you're not losing any guarding capabilities. For grade 3s, I run Military Dragon Raptor Colonel, of course, at 4. 2 Destruction Dragon Dark Rex, and right now I have 2 Savage War Chief. He's basically there as a placeholder because I wasn't sure if I was going to replace him with Tyrant Death Rex as an alternate Vanguard or something else. At this point, though, after having used the deck for a long time, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to replace him with 2 more copies of Destruction Dragon Dark Rex. so that I can reuse his effect as much as I please. Now, first we'll go over Military Raptor Colonel's effect. Counterblast 1, Limit Break, and choose 2 of your Tachikaze rear guards and retire them. Basically, when he attacks a Vanguard, you can retire 2 units for 1 counterblast, and he gains their power for that turn until the end of the battle. So this is great again to target cards like Winged Dragon Skyptero, for example, and then use his effects to pull him back to hand. That way you've only lost 1 card out of the 2, and you've still done Raptor Colonel's effect for only 2 counterblasts. Now, another great thing about Raptor Colonel is that he can set up great pressure for Dark Rex's effect, especially if you're running 8 criticals like you should be running in a high-powered deck like this. Your opponent is going to want to guard Raptor Colonel's attack, especially at 4 damage or even 3 damage, because they don't want you to hit for 46 something power and then possibly get a critical too and end the game right there, just because they were trying to save out and not get hit by Dark Rex's effect, if they can afford to guard it or not. So it sets up a great power play if you can do Raptor Colonel's effect and then pull off Dark Rex's effect. I do warn you though, you have to be careful when doing this, because you need to have a full field, because Dark Rex retires 3 cards. Dark Rex's effects are bind this card from hand and choose 1 of your Tachikaze on that unit gets plus 3,000. It makes better columns, or just in general it powers up your Vanguard even more if that's where you want to put the power at. And then from the bind zone you can limit break with him, choose 3 of your Tachikaze rear guards and retire them. And at the beginning of the close step of the battle that your grade 3 or greater Tachikaze Vanguard attacked and did not hit, then you may pay the cost, and then you get to ride him and get another Twin Drive. So let's look at some of the best ways to combo this deck. So let's say you've already bound Dark Rex, and you've got the perfect field setup, because it's not too hard to set up with this deck. You got Mega Rex and Skyptero, and then you have a booster behind Raptor Colonel, and Slash Terra and Beamter on the other side, and 4 damage for limit break. Now you're going to want to attack using all your other rearguard columns first, because if you intend to do both Raptor Colonel's effect and Dark Rex's effect, you're not going to get to attack with your rearguards otherwise, because you have to sacrifice everything on your field to do it. So first, we'll do Raptor Colonel's effect, retire Mega Rex, and then counterblast 1 to put Skyptero back to hand. And then we do the Twin Drive. Of course, we'll assume at this point in the game that the opponent has 4 damage, possibly 5 damage, so they can't afford to let that attack hit. So they're going to perfect guard it, so we do our drive check, and then we're going to activate Dark Rex's effect, sacrifice all 3 of these units to ride Dark Rex, and then since we sacrifice Slash Terra and Beamter, we'll give both their powers to Dark Rex. That way he's 16,000, makes a nice 2-stage column against any Vanguard, and then we'll attack to gain another Twin Drive. So in total, you plussed your hand 4 cards regardless of what it was before. This is why, in a situation where, let's say, you're running out of cards and you're getting down to the wire and you really have to use some type of game-ending effect like Dark Rex. You've already got him set up, but you just can't afford to do everything at once, even though you want to do Raptor Colonel's effect. So your hand looks something like this. You've got more to guard with than you have to play. In this case, it's best to play everything you can anyways, because of the fact that you're not really minusing the 3 cards that you are. You'll use Raptor Colonel's effect, of course, to lose Mega Rex, and then put Skyptero back in your hand, plus your Twin Drive. And then, even though Dark Rex will sack the 3 total triggers that you put on the field that you would have normally used for shielding if you were being conservative. You gain a second Twin Drive. So in total, you may not have gained back all those triggers, but you've actually plussed 1 or 2 cards to your hand, give or take if you had a Skip Terror on the field or not. So with Dark Rex, you just really have to be careful. Don't spam Military Raptor Colonel if you can help it, because his effect will tear up your field if you attack every single time. Late game, you really don't have to use Military Colonel's effect to still get Dark Rex, because if your opponent is at 4 or 5 damage, they're going to have to guard the attack anyways, unless they're going to want to risk ending the game right then and there. So you really just need to spend time with your deck and figure out when you're going to pull off the effects, when it's useful, and if it's worth it to do one or the other or try and do both. So that's it for this deck build. Leave any comments or suggestions about any other Vanguard videos you'd like to see or any other Vanguard deck builds you'd like to see below, and thanks for watching.